Now this is my second poem. There are 7 billion people on this planet. How would you like to break them up, count them, divide and conquer them? That's what's going on in back rooms when they decide to manufacture million-dollar missiles to massacre and mangle middle-class Muslims. From Guantanamo to Pelican Bay, human rights abuses are ignored every single day. The politicians and the media executives will turn night into day as long as they're getting paid. That's why the FBI goes after environmental activists in undercover raids. Connecting dots might get you put in the shoe in some unknown bay. This is about more than a few $100s in tuition increases. It's about structural unemployment and replacing man with machine. It's about greed over need. It's about a government for, of, and by the corporation at the expense of the student, the elderly, the immigrant, the disabled, the artist, and the proletariat. It's about 10 cities in Israel and in Spain. It's about uprisings in Tunisia and Egypt. And it's about protesters in Syria being shot dead in the streets by American-made bullets. Weapons of mass destruction still being made here in the US of A and then sold to both sides. It's about our government killing in the name of. It's about much more than you and me. It's about the socio-political restructuring that is happening around the world where fresh new egalitarian ideas are free, not left to bleed by an old and dying breed of corrupt materialism and greed. Blaming the economy's caving on poor people for saving, that's fracking amazing. How can this be the way of the world, Bible-thumping politicians saying no to contraception? How can this be the way of the world, idiot politicians claiming that the only solution is military intervention? How can this be the way of the world, Trayvon Martin, Oscar Grant, and Troy Davis? We going about our daily lives, pleading ignorance and apathy. We gotta put food on the table. We, the privileged, need to lead these American consumers out of this dystopian fable. These politicians and talking heads say it's all about job creation, but in reality it's about power and manipulation. Dollar tags on body bags. Afghans are sometimes compensated when Western forces kill an innocent man, but you see, different countries pay out differently. How can we talk about human rights when we still clinging to arbitrary lines on a map? Intellectual lightweights preaching xenophobia and hate have no comprehension that fate has already confirmed the collapse of the concept of the nation state. So much easier to watch a video than to read. It's no wonder that peace is silenced by a war story that leads us to bleed. The status quo feeds us death and destruction, the same history that they have us repeat. Keeping us fat, yet spiritually empty and asleep at the wheel of a democracy, but making sure we got dollar hamburgers to eat and shoes made in sweatshops on our feet. The reason I am here is not to convince you to invest in some contrived Ponzi scheme called capitalism plus democracy. I'm trying to convince you to do something about the injustices that you all seen. We have the power, the duty, and the responsibility to assert moral authority over our society. We are going to bring this fear-driven, warmongering house of cards down. You can call me a radical or you can call me a clown. You can end me, but you can't stop me because I'm just another incarnation of a human being trying to do the right thing.